Hello and welcome to That's Football. It's your lunchtime transfer and football news, and it's Friday, so we've got the FA Cup final tomorrow. Looking forward to that, but let's start off. Both teams in the FA Cup final linked to the first story we want to talk about this morning. It's in the Mail, so take it with a pinch of salt, but it is in relation to Anthony Martial, who missed out on the French squad yesterday. Maybe we'll talk about that in a minute, but Anthony Martial, Chelsea are very eager to bring him to London, and I'm sure, look, apart from the fact that should Manchester United be selling to a club, a rival, potential rival in the same league, no, I don't think they should. But would Martial benefit Chelsea, especially if Eden Hazard, as expected, is going to move on? Then certainly he would. The story is that Chelsea's two top targets are Anthony Martial and Seri from Nice, the midfielder. And I think that those two signings would add something that Chelsea have missed really this season, a little bit of dynamism, a little bit of flair, a little bit of hunger, I suppose, with points to prove for both players. One coming from the French league, Seri, probably looking to do what Kante did, and Martial looking to show the world that he is a good talent and he should be getting picked not only for Manchester United but for the French squad as well. I don't think this can happen, but having said that, I do think Willian to Manchester United is something that Mourinho's obsessed about for 2 years. So I think that that could be a big factor in it. Would Manchester United be stupid enough to bring 30-year-old Willian to Old Trafford in exchange for Martial? Now, Chelsea would have to give a bit of money as well. I think you'd have to look at 40 million plus Willian for Martial, because Martial's 22, Willian's about to be 30. But the interesting thing is Chelsea's appetite to bring Martial. I think most clubs in the Premier League would want Martial, and also the fact that they know that Willian's probably going to go anyway, and the fact that Mourinho loves Willian. We've seen it happen with Sanchez and Mkhitaryan, so why could it not happen again? As a Manchester United fan, even though I'm wearing blue today, simply wearing blue because it was all that was left in my wardrobe, nothing to do with the cup final. I don't want this to happen. I don't want it to happen. There's a sadistic side to me that wants Martial to leave and show Mourinho what a lot of United fans think he's all about, but I don't want it to happen in the Premier League because that's just biting our nose off to spite our face. But keep an eye on that, because I think if Mourinho does want Willian, that will be probably the first thing that Chelsea say. You can have him, but we want Martial in return. So let's see what happens with that one. I would sign Perisic, Seri and De Vrij if I was Chelsea, says Neil 0OB9. Yeah. The free is free as well. And United, please don't, says Dej. And Manchester United do need a right winger, and Jose obviously hates Martial, says Nathan Brown. And is Perisic still open for other clubs to get, says Christopher White. Well, everybody's always available. He signed the new contract at Inter last year after those prolonged rumours that he was coming to United. So he could well be available. I'll tell you who is available from Italy, though. Gianluca Buffon, who is Juventus goalkeeper, arguably one of the best goalkeepers in the world over the last 10 to 15 years. He will be leaving Juventus. That was announced yesterday. 40 in January. A lot of people were talking about him maybe going to America, but there's PSG, and there are a couple of English clubs apparently linked to him. Manchester City, so he'd obviously be a backup for Ederson, or Liverpool, who I think if Liverpool bought Buffon, they would actually play him because their goalkeepers are rubbish. So Buffon to Liverpool, do you suddenly go from being one of the best goalkeepers in the world to being worse than Liverpool's goalkeepers just because you're 40? I think it's quite an interesting one as well. He probably want good wages, but I think that's quite an interesting move that Liverpool might look at. I don't know what you think. Buffon to Liverpool. Any Liverpool fans? Would you want Buffon? 40, but 40 in January. And let's not forget, he's not Ronaldo or Messi at 40. He's a goalkeeper at 40, and goalkeepers can play comfortably, I think, until they're 42, 43. So, you might get a couple of years out of him. Gianluigi, not Gianluca, sorry Neil. I've upset Neil now with my pronunciation of Italian first names. Sorry about that. I'm English. Don't worry, Martial will fail at Chelsea as he's not suited to the Premier League. Willian is a Jose warrior, says Royke. Yeah, Martial's not suited to the Premier League, yeah. Yeah, okay, that's why he's lit it up every time he's played consistently and tore Liverpool apart on his debut. But yeah, it doesn't suit the Premier League. He'd never... I'll take Buffon, says Kieran Hounson. Yeah, you know what? I think it's quite an interesting one. I think he'd be more suited to Liverpool. Anyway, let's have a look at some of the news. Napoli have placed a €120 million price tag on Senegal centre-back Koulibaly. in an attempt to deter Real Madrid, Chelsea and Manchester United. That's being reported by Football Italia. And Shakhtar Donetsk head coach, who has been linked with West Ham and Everton, has signed a new contract with the Ukrainian club. Shakhtar Donetsk, that's quite interesting because that's where Fred is, who we now think Fred is probably going to come to Manchester United by doing quick maths. And those quick maths are that 2 + 2 is 4. No, two signings is what Pep said he was going to sign this summer. Jorginho is going to be one of them, who's a midfielder, and we know his other player he wants is an attacker, and it could be Zaha, it could be Mahrez, or it could be someone from abroad. But his midfielder is going to be Jorginho. And we know that Fred's coming to Manchester because that's been confirmed. So it's Manchester United. It's pure and simple, isn't it? 2 + 2 + 4. That's quick maths. Manchester United manager Jose Mourinho believes that Real Madrid forward Cristiano Ronaldo would only be allowed to leave the Spanish Giants for Major League Soccer in the United States and not for a European league. And that was reported in Marca, but it was actually originally from the United Stand, which we reported from Record, which was in Portugal. And Mourinho did go on to say that if Ronaldo was allowed to leave, then of course Manchester United would be interested. So that's more clarity on that. And what else have we got? Manchester United striker Sergio Aguero says he only expects to play with Barcelona forward Lionel Messi for Argentina and that he is happy at the Etihad. That's in the Corriere dello Sport. And Jorginho's agent, I think we reported this yesterday, that Napoli want up to £60 million for the 26-year-old Brazilian, but City will agree to pay a price closer to £50 million, which is normally what they play. And Batshuayi, I think Xander's going to pick up on this a little bit later. Batshuayi done very well at Borussia Dortmund, but Chelsea don't want to give him up, but they will give Morata, and Juventus are already interested in Morata as well. And Aaron Ramsey is going to be sold this summer by Arsenal if he doesn't sign a new contract, because he's only got a year left on his contract. Jack Wilshere has got nothing left, but they do expect to sign him on a long-term deal. And that brings me to Arteta, who is going to be unveiled very, very soon. I think we did a video on that at the start of the week saying Arteta would be the club. And there we go. Pankaj says he's 100% sure that Fred is coming to Manchester United. And man's not hot, says Rizmad. Man's not hot, not hot. People wonder why United will continue to be left behind other clubs. Jose continues to beg Fellaini to stay, yet hasn't begged Martial once. And that's from 316, which is a good point. I saw something this morning about Fellaini still expected to sign a new contract at Manchester United, which is obviously very, very disappointing. And Christopher White said, if you had to sell Martial to Chelsea, who would you take from Chelsea? It would have to be Kante or Hazard, wouldn't it? Kante or Hazard? Yeah. Beef onto the Scouts has never happened because of Heysel, says Michael Jacques. A very, very good point. And Zaha is good. Manchester United, said Ryan Williams. And any chance of us buying Mbappe, says Lawrence Law. No. And Chelsea probably loan Martial, says James Dudley. It might not be bad. I'd love to see Icardi at United as well, Matt Johnson. You can see Icardi at Manchester United on my FIFA career mode, which is on my channel, which is Goldbridge Livestream. Yes, he'd be very good. But I think if he's going to go anywhere, he may well end up going to Chelsea. So we'll see what happens with that. Anyway, quick and fast. We've covered everything there. It's getting very interesting in the world of transfers, but I know everybody's starting to think about the FA Cup final tomorrow. I'm live at 1 o'clock, straight after Jose Mourinho's press conference, live on the United Stand with our preview, predicted lineup and reaction to what Mourinho said. So that's at 1 o'clock. You can see me on the United Stand for that. And remember, we've got a new show now on That's Football, which is on at 7:30 every evening, which Sander is hosting, which is more interactive, goes for half an hour, talking about transfers, feeding off your thoughts. Get involved with it. It went really well last night, I thought, and it's a much bigger show at 7:30 every night on That's Football. So get involved, get subscribed, drop a like, and remember, FA Cup final tomorrow on the United Stand, and then a week tomorrow we've got Champions League and the playoff final back-to-back live watch-alongs on this channel, and then we're going to be into World Cup territory. So loads to get involved with. Keep getting involved, keep spreading the word, and I'll speak to you all soon.